how you doing today? Welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's our guy Igor here. In today's video, I will tell you about taxes in Canada. Did you know that an average tax refund for a Canadian for the last year was $1,729 directly deposited to their bank account at the end of the year? This video was inspired by your comments, especially by the comments of negative comments about taxes in Canada, putting it as a top reason not to move to Canada as how taxes are bad. And in fact, there are so many of those comments. I was born in Ukraine, and in Ukraine you get really zero tax rebate for anything. So getting money back into my account after a financial year is something that is really new personally to me. Now let me tell you why I would be a qualified person to tell you about taxes. I did my master's in economics, so I'm qualified in taxes and I really know a lot of things.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
I actually wanted to tell you that majority of people in Canada, according to the survey, 63% of people in Canada consider the tax money to be a free money coming out of nowhere. Majority of the people spend that money to pay once they get the rebate, once they get a deposit, they spend it off paying off their credit cards, and only a small percentage actually spends that money. They don't spend, they invest it into something to make money out of it. So make sure you watch this video until the very end. Smash the like button before we start, leave a comment, and let's get started. In this video, I'm actually going to tell you how to make money on taxes and how you can actually pay less taxes here in Canada. I'll also tell you pros and cons of paying taxes here and why people complain so much. And I'll tell you about the horrible monster that none of the people in Canada like to talk about. They don't even talk about it between their relatives sometimes. You have to be a really trusted person for them. Nobody loves taxes, but they come from an ancient Egypt. They come from the Roman Empire. They go from the beginning of the civilization, the civilized world that we know today. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. said, "The taxes are the price that we pay for civilization." What is more important is taxes are the price we pay for the Canada we love and we know today. The house you can see behind me right now, that is my new house. If you're wondering, I know you've been watching this channel for some time. This is it. I didn't show it before because it didn't have a proper roof. We finished the roof yesterday. And yes, I do pay property taxes on this house. Let's talk a little bit about pros and cons of paying taxes and what makes Americans think about Canada, why they're so jealous about it, and why we are paying so much of taxes anyways. As you may already know, Canada has free medicine. So if you get injured in Canada, if you have to visit a doctor, you don't have to pay for it, like for instance you have to pay in the US. You get free public schools, and education in general is way cheaper than, for instance, in the America. All of my American friends are getting jealous when I say maternity leave, because can you imagine, in Canada you can actually get up to 18 months of maternity leave, parental leave. So you know, if you are a father of the kid, you can also take it instead of the mother, or you can split that period between the two parents, which is kind of an amazing thing. In US you just have to go back to work. In Canada you can stay home with your kid up to 18 months and the government is going to pay you, and also you get such benefits. Like one of the other pros is that they pay you according to your income. So if you're making less money, the government pays you to support your kid. For your child, you get extra money. You get such amenities as low-income housing for people who are not making much money, or for families who cannot afford to pay down payment. There's also affordable housing for single mothers and so much more. By paying taxes, you get better roads, better transportation, more security, more safety, a better national defense, and more advanced army. In Canada, it's a beautiful country with beautiful parks. You get better parks, you get better standard of life. Basically, pros of taxes is that you pay for what Canada is right now. You pay for the civilization it is right now. But the pros of it now, what are the cons of paying taxes in Canada? Why do people complain so much? And why do they hate it so much? And we'll also look at how much money people are paying by provinces, what the weirdest thing about Canada, how it makes it different from other countries, and don't forget, in the end we are going to be talking about how to actually make money on taxes, and I'll give you a couple of ideas for tax write-offs. Now, cons of paying taxes: you have less money on hand, and in Canada the system is so weird that you are paying more taxes the more money you make. So sometimes it doesn't make sense to make more money because you just get consumed by the taxes you pay. The more money you make, less chances of you being eligible for the benefits that other people are eligible for. So basically you can hear this kind of term from Canadians saying that, oh, I'm not interested in making more money because then I pay more taxes and something else gets deducted. Another con of the tax is that dental care is not free. If you buy prescription medicine, you still have to pay. If you don't have a proper health insurance from your company, then even in Canada you're a little bit screwed, especially if you're a senior who requires medication. You can go to see a doctor, then you get a prescription, and then you have to buy your own medicines. So it's still expensive regardless of you paying taxes. This might blow you away. Weirdest fact in Canada is that they do not include the taxes on the price tags. So if you're going to a shop and you see a $100 item in Ontario, be prepared to pay $13 on top of it on your checkout. In Alberta, it's going to be $5 because it's 5% tax. In Ontario, it's 13%. Here is a map for you to have a better understanding of how much taxes you are paying in Canada depending on the province you're living in. And this is why I stay in Alberta. Less taxes, less trouble. I don't feel there is a good institution in Canada that can say to get some feedback of the taxpayers on what we think about it other than elections. Some political leaders are using the tax as their campaign, which is kind of understandable why that is happening. And I feel there is not enough education. People don't really know much about taxes, and as much as you know if you come here as an immigrant, because you have to start doing the research, and there are actually facilities for immigrants to tell you what you can get for taxes. But if you are Canadian born and if you never been interested in such topic, I don't even know how you would find that out. So I think that is a negative thing. If you have made it so far, smash the like button. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel because you watched the majority of the video. Now I'll tell you how to make money, and I'll also tell you about that monster. Let's start with the monster. The monster is Canada Revenue Agency. That's what people do not like to talk about, and the reason is it's if you say this word, like, and I'm in front of a self-employed person who pays the taxes, who pays a lot of taxes. There's so much of taxes in Canada, people just feel like they're getting ripped off. So here and there people try to write off one or another thing they shouldn't be writing off, and guess what? If somebody finds out, Canada Revenue Agency goes after them and claims the money, puts the penalties, and also claims the interest on the money that that person haven't paid. So nobody wants to be investigated. Leave a comment. I want to find out your opinion. What do you think? Because YouTube, nobody cares. Canada Revenue Agency is not going to go after you. They can go after me on this video for giving you this kind of information, but I'm telling you the truth. There are lots of people who cheat and who don't want to get caught, and that's why they don't like talking about it. Alright, let's talk about how much taxes you are going to pay if you made $30,000 of income in 1 year in Alberta. Right now I'm just looking in Alberta. It is going to be from $30,000 you would get to keep $26,248. So basically it says average tax rate is 12.5%. In Ontario, you would get to keep $26,330, so you pay $3,670 of taxes, which is not bad, right? But if you put a $60,000 on this calculator, you're going to see the difference. Now all of a sudden in Alberta, $48,67, so you get to keep $48,067 and you pay close to $12,000 in taxes, and you can see that your tax already went to 19.89% and marginal is 30.50, and in Ontario you are actually paying $11,025 in taxes, and after tax income from $60,000, so you're like, oh, I made 60 grand in Canada. Well, no, you got to keep only $48,975. And guess what happens if you are like, you're getting promotion and all of a sudden you are going to $120,000 of annual income. All of a sudden you are only getting to keep $88,000, so you pay close to $31,593 in Alberta in your taxes. And in Ontario, I'm just checking it on my phone right now, you pay $32,895,000 in tax. You buy like a brand new Honda or Toyota to the government. So you call your parents and back home if you're an immigrant and you're like, hey mom, dad, I'm making 120 grand, and they're like, woohoo, that's cool. How much money do you get to keep after taxes? Well, it's closer to $87,105. So they would be like, hey, where did your 33 grand went? And well, the Canada revenue agency took it away. You lose the facilities. You cannot get affordable housing anymore because you are considered to be like a rich person, right? You also don't get all the facilities that the low income. So that's what kind of pisses off a lot of Canadians, that there are amenities and those things that are available to the new immigrants. They do think that people are coming here and taking advantage of that system, having low income and claiming all of those things, and those people are actually making money. They're paying tons and tons and tons of money, and they believe that money goes to those people who are actually in need, but in reality they were like what people rage about it. Me personally, my opinion is, I know a little bit more about immigration system, and it's not that simplistic, and in fact immigrants are contributing huge amount of money and success to the economy of Canada, especially after I paid like 50 grand for my graduation here for education and then just started working. So not only I came to Canada, I paid my entire family retirement savings here to study, and then I started working. So no money spent for my education, no money spent on my transportation. I gave 50 grand, started making and paying taxes. That's how I look at it. Finally, how can you make money on taxes? Now, I consider, even right now, I still consider the money that comes back from your taxes is something that you do not expect, right? Depends on your income. The more money you make, the less money you will get in the end of the year. For example, I purchased a house right now, and this is good because the first time home buyers, what do you get? Like tax credit, $5,000 in Canada. So I'm going to claim it on my tax refund, and hopefully I'll get something, and it would pay for a part of the roof that I had to replace just recently. So how do you really make money on it? Well, first of all, don't just use that money for spontaneous purchases. Use that money, invest it into something. Invest it into your paying off your mortgage. Invest it into your bank account. Invest it into your business. This is what you do with that money. You try to save it. Don't just throw it away like it was not there. It's your money. You paid it. Government returned it to you because you overpaid your money to the government. That's why you're getting back. It's not like the government is paying you. But really, to make money on your taxes, I'll tell you a small secret. So you smash a like button for it right now. Listen carefully. This is a huge secret. Businesses pay less taxes. And this is how Trump won his election, which he says he's smart, but actually he's a business person, and businesses pay less taxes. So if you want to really save money on taxes and pay less in Canada, and if you want to make money on it, why I say make? Because otherwise you would spend. Let's look at this. You use your personal car to drive to work. That's considered to be personal use. You cannot do anything on your tax returns. Same situation, you're a business, you're a corporation, and you're a director of corporation, you pay yourself dividends, you already pay less taxes on it, right? In other words, being self-employed, being a business owner, being a business is way more beneficial for you, because what do you pay here in Alberta? 10% on your dividends? That's like nothing. I showed you just now how much you would regularly pay. You can, if you're a consultant, write off your car expenses to see your clients, and you can write off, for instance, like if you're a professional photographer, you can write off your flashlight, you can write off your cameras, and you can actually get a GST back on that equipment, because that's what you do professionally. And if you're like an amateur photographer, that's your personal use, you don't make any money on it, you cannot write it off. And moreover, from your regular job, where you might be a photographer, by the way, you pay so much more taxes. So it's so much better to even get a contract to work for someone as a corporation, as a business. You pay way less taxes. And I think this, in a way, supports the economy of Canada. But some people really think that businesses take advantage of the system, and the accountants, people are thinking taxes are complicated, but they're pretty straightforward. They are not complicated. My personal opinion, to conclude this video, I want to find out your opinion on the taxes, and I'll tell you something what I think about the taxes right after this. So smash the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Now here is my personal opinion. You can say personal and professional, but I'll say personal more than professional. I think that carbon tax in Canada is the most ridiculous thing that I have ever seen. Okay, being an immigrant, I agree with majority of Canadians who think that carbon tax is just, how do I say it without swearing on this channel? It's nonsense. It's ridiculous. Who in a straight mind of thinking, not being drunk or high, could come up with such a thing? Carbon tax in Canada, that's a ridiculous thing. That just disgusts me. I just think it should go away. I really disagree with the carbon tax in Canada. It's like, what the hell? Who came up with that idea? And that's why Canadians are so pissed off with whoever created the carbon tax. Alright, so smash the like button, leave your comment, be it on the topic or be it on the carbon tax. Subscribe to this channel to see more, and we'll see you, friends, guys, in the next video. Bye for now.